Yeah, no, it was good to get a good team win. Was happy with a lot of things, especially offensively. Felt like really efficient in what we did. A lot of good decisions. You could tell with the just not very many incompletions, making good decisions, getting the ball in the right spot. So I thought that was good. Defensively, I thought it was good to get some guys some reps and get the depth going. It was good to get Armani and Tylen over there, given the injury situation. So I thought that was good. And again, having some tackles for loss and getting some turnovers, thought that was really good. I was very pleased with him. He showed the ability to hand the ball off, to make the throws when in the RPO game, having to make those decisions, and obviously the ability to pull it and run it. And make a big play. So I think he brings something a little bit different to the table, just a little bit different personality. But was happy to get him some quality reps and get it with the first team offensive line and the first team receivers. I thought that was important. Moving on to Arkansas, a big road game for us. Watching the tape, first thing that jumped out to me was their defensive line. They're very, very good up front. Have a good front seven. Offensively, did a lot of shifts and motions. Was really impressed with them last week. I think you see them getting better and better. So, but definitely a very capable and good football team. We'll have to play well to win. But again, anytime that you're in this conference and you go on the road, you got to have the mental toughness enough to be able to block out the distractions and do your job over and over and over again, regardless of the circumstance. So that's what I think we saw some more of that this past week, and I just want to build on that and then take it on the road and be able to just to lock in and focus and do your job for 4 quarters. It's been some different games, but I think we got to focus on this team and this year, but it has been kind of a different series. But they've come out ahead here the last few times, but it'll be important for us this year to go play good football, to not turn the ball over, to do the little things it takes to win those games. Because usually, even though the games are quirky, it still comes down to 2 or 3 plays either way. And, you got to make sure you handle your business, and so the plays go your way. Again, I think no matter what defense that you play against, you have to go out there and you want to put up numbers against whoever you're playing. So I think it doesn't matter what the game is or who you're playing. You want to go out there and live up to your standard. It's not really so much about who you're playing. It's about wanting to play as good as you can possibly play. And I think if we take that approach, I think we'll be better off.
Might be just a few points scored on Saturday between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Hogs ranked 13th in defense in the conference, giving up 400 yards a game, only ahead of Ole Miss, who's given up a full 100 yards plus more a game. So let's get you ready for that score fest. Arkansas, well, they're finding a little bit of offense, right? Scoring 25 points a game, the fewest in the conference. Ole Miss allows almost 37 points a game, second most in the SEC. Is in terms of expected points added, Arkansas's offense minus 5.5 points per game impact on the scoreboard. Ole Miss defense minus 9. It's not good. What is good? Well, if you like points. Hey, Coach Morris, you excited about this one?
I cannot wait to go down to our home stadium at War Memorial there in Little Rock on a Saturday night, and I think it's the first time since 1999 that there will be a night SEC game. We're extremely excited about this. And I know that we're expecting the atmosphere to be incredible. I know the tailgating will be outstanding. The weather's going to be fabulous.
A big road game for us. Watching the tape, first thing that jumped out to me was their defensive line. They're very, very good up front, have a good front seven. Offensively, did a lot of shifts and motions. Was really impressed with them last week. I think you see them getting better and better. So, but definitely a very capable and good football team. We'll have to play well to win.
Jordan has done a really good job of coming in last year as a quarterback and taking on his role. He's very much a dual threat. He runs really well. Got really good size. I mean, he's 6'2", 210. Runs well. Does a good job keeping his eyes down the field. That's really kind of when he becomes to where he could hurt you the most, is when he is flushed out of the pocket and his eyes stay down the field. And You got to keep your eyes on those wide receivers if you're a DB.
Anytime that you're in this conference and you go on the road, you got to have the mental toughness enough to be able to block out the distractions and do your job over and over and over again, regardless of the circumstance. So that's what I think we saw some more of that this past week, and I just want to build on that and then take it on the road and be able just to lock in and focus and do your job for 4 quarters.
This one's going to have a point.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Ole Miss at Arkansas. This game's in Little Rock.
And I got this one. There's going to be a lot of points scored. But I tell you what, I know what Ole Miss is. I know they can score, and I know they can't stop anybody. I learned a lot about Arkansas in this Alabama game. I think they had a creative game plan. I think we saw Ty Story play confident for the very first time this year.
Yep.
They had a lot of positives they can build off of. That's going to be a game.
It feels like Chad Morris has found, hey, this is the personnel that I'm going to work with. Now I just have to build the scheme. Ole Miss giving up 500 yards a game in offense.
Chad Morris using a tight
Get
end.
ready for an 8-hour game.
Oh,
Arkansas is going to be excited. Enjoy that.
We all decided to pick Ole Miss versus ULM.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer, Peter. I'm not sure how they're going to do the rest of the season, so might as well get them on a cupcake week.
Yeah, and I actually called this game, so I was a part of all 70
How
points.
long was that game?
This game lasted, it actually didn't last longer than you expect, but it felt longer because they were scoring all over the place.
Well, it felt long if you're a fan of ULM. 70-21, over 500 yards of offense in that first half. How about the Eliminator Challenge? These are the picks so far. So we've pretty much been on the same wavelength. Little Rock, Arkansas. Not in Fayetteville for this one. Ole Miss, Arkansas.
I mean, one thing I know, there's going to be a lot of points scored. That's for sure. I actually feel better about Arkansas after last week against Alabama than I have all
31
season.
points, right?
Absolutely. They did some good things. I think this will be a competitive game.
Am I taking Arkansas? Have I convinced myself?
I don't know.
But let me get your thoughts on the Ole Miss Arkansas game. First of all, why is this game in Little Rock? Do you have any idea?
Contracts?
Okay, because it's just a
I think
strange place to
Arkansas is
play an
contractually
SEC game.
obligated to have a couple games here.
Yeah, I mean, I know they've tried to get out of these games in the future, but usually they play games other than SEC games. But what about this game? Is this a chance? Or is this Arkansas with Vanderbilt in a couple of weeks? A rare chance to maybe turn this season around?
Well, you want to begin to build on the future, and Chad Morris wants to do that. And I think he has found a few things in his football team that he can begin to build towards. Now, the offensive line's still going to have to be shuffled around, but we saw the tight ends being implemented against Alabama, and they can help this offense. They're easy to hide, easy to disguise. You can use them in protection. You can leak them out for screens, obviously find them on throwbacks, different things like that. And I think Chad Morris looked at his roster and said, we're not going to use a bunch of tight ends down the road, but we've got them. We might as well use them. They now have a quarterback in Ty Story that they know is going to be the guy. And I think their leader, speaking of leadership, is back on defense. John Chavis has Dre Greenlaw to help put that defense together, line those guys up, and give them a little bit of fire from a playmaking standpoint that they can begin to take the next steps. A couple wins down the stretch would be huge for Chad Morris and what he wants to do building this Razorback football team in the future.
Arkansas's annual Little Rock game comes Saturday against Ole Miss, a team many think the Hogs could beat and snap that 5-game losing streak. Hog fans in Central Arkansas hoping to see the continued growth of that Chad Morris offense against a defense that is at the very bottom of the SEC in many a defensive. Ole Miss, bold prediction, CD.
Scotty Phillips, the running back for Ole Miss, will rush for 150 yards or more in this football game against Arkansas. Now, when we think about the Ole Miss offense, right, it's bombs away usually, and this Arkansas D has been really good against the run. So why would Ole Miss run the football? Well, this guy, Scotty Phillips, averages over 7 yards per carry. And if you think about games where Jordan Ta'amu has struggled throwing the football, it's been when they've been in 3rd and long situations. In fact, on 3rd down and 7 and more, the Ole Miss Rebels are only converting at 28%. So they understand that they got to run the football. Scotty Phillips is going to get a lot more touches than what we've come to see normally.
The new meter is back.
Ooh. Switch it up in the break.
Yeah, somehow. Well, and somehow
All right.
we found it. It had been misplaced
That was kind of
by
anticlimactic.
engineering.
Too.
Kind of not bold.
Yeah.
And here's why I think that this has happened to you. Because last week, Chiswick sat in that seat, and he predicted a 150-yard Scotty Phillips.
He
half.
did. So maybe I should listen to the guy that I
He went a half.
Different team. We're playing against an SEC opponent this week.
Louisiana Monroe. Come on. All right, you're right. That's why it's kind of not bold.
All right,
All right,
give me.
here. I need a bold for Arkansas.
All right, Arkansas is going to they're going to convert on 50% or more of their third down opportunities. All right, now before you judge me, they are dead last in third down conversions as an offense. Only convert about 32% of their third down tries. And again, I'm a little nervous here. Not bold at all. Are you kidding me? They're going to convert. All right. Part of the reason I'm sure I got the bold is because Ole Miss's defense is not very good against.
Do you know what Ole Miss has given up on third down in conference play?
Tell me, please.
52%.
All right. So I'm saying 50%.
You're saying
somewhere between 52 and 32.
Ole Miss could improve those numbers, and that's a bold prediction.
On their numbers, 32 getting to 52.
Okay, all right.
All right. Okay. They're going to run the football a little bit more. Watch for the Arkansas running backs to get some first and second down carries to make those third down tries.
You're still okay, right? Jordan Ta'amu has not been good against conference teams. How many yards passing does he have against Arkansas?
I'm going to say 275.
That's low. That's low, really, for him.
275. They're going to run the ball.
That game is in Little Rock. What's the capital of Arkansas?
It is, in fact, Little Rock.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had to think for a second.
We'll get you to Little Rock, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. It's the Little Rock game for those Razorbacks. Jordan Rodgers is in Little Rock to get us set for Ole Miss and Arkansas. Razorback offense had its, considering the competition, especially, I would say, best week of the season to this point last week when it was at Alabama. Ty Storey front and center in it. Why did he have the level of success he had?
Yeah, I think Ty Storey had his best game of his young career by far, and really it was Chad Morris. The offensive design, I thought they were creative. There was a ton of misdirection, and they utilized the tight ends and the running backs. Just 8 of his 25 completions were to wide receivers. The rest were the tight ends and running backs. There was misdirection. There was flow from one side to the other. Easy throws for Ty Storey to get his confidence up, get him in rhythm, which is something we haven't seen from him all year. He's capable, yes. Does he have some limitations throwing the football downfield? Absolutely. That's why I think this game plan was picture perfect. I know the end score was what it was, but Arkansas was not expected to score as many points as they did against a good Alabama defense. Play design and confidence from Ty Storey was a big part of it.
If you look at his numbers against non-SEC competition and then against SEC competition, Jordan Ta'amu, you wouldn't recognize one from the other. It is an incredible difference between those two. Why is that? Obviously better defenses, I get that, but that's a drastic difference.
Yeah, it's bad. Let's be honest. When you look at this Ole Miss offense, they are high-powered. They push the ball downfield. Against better competition, that's tougher. And so talking to these coaches, talking to Matt Luke this week, he said, look, we got to get Jordan Ta'amu some easier completions early on in downs. Too many times against LSU and Alabama, they were off the field too quickly. So the RPO, the run-pass option for Jordan Ta'amu is going to be so important this week against Arkansas, seeing what's going on pre-snap, getting easy completions to get this offense going. If he can get it into his playmakers' hands, Dari, we saw what they did last week. You get the ball to A.J. Brown, he's going to make some plays after, yards after a catch. They're one of the best in the country at that. It's just getting his guys the ball, getting easy completions. I think we're going to see a change in this Ole Miss. Not as many shots downfield, more easy completions for Ta'amu. Get him in rhythm, let his playmakers take the pressure off him.
Let's start with our primetime game, Ole Miss in Little Rock against Arkansas.
Ole Miss and Arkansas. I am going with Arkansas in this football game. They are going to win 48-42. Now, it's going to be a shootout. You think back to Arkansas has kind of owned this series of late, right? 4 in a row. I like their chances of moving the football against this Ole Miss defense.
The very latest news, Devon Whaley's missed the last couple of games. He'll play for the Hogs against Ole Miss today.
Arkansas is 6.5 points underdog against Ole Miss. Arkansas got beat last week, allowing 65 points. Okay, but Ole Miss, they've been beaten 4 times in a row by Arkansas. Come on, Arkansas.
Talk about a big game. What about Ole Miss and Arkansas in Little Rock? Marcus has already got this one DVR'd. The Arkansas defense has shown some flashes of brilliance. Well, maybe improvement, I should say. But Ole Miss's offense has had some good moments, too, under that man right there. One thing is certain. Either Chad Morris or Matt Luke, they'll finally get an SEC win tonight.
War Memorial Stadium is the site of this game with our SEC Saturday night crew between Ole Miss and Arkansas. And yes, they will be the readiest. It's Holiday Inn and Jordan Rodgers, Tom Hart, and Cole Kublik.
The story of this game is quarterbacks. Ty Storey coming off a career day against Alabama, and Jordan Ta'amu putting up video game numbers. Both these offenses are heavily predicated on the RPO, the run-pass option. I know you're sick of hearing it. Every broadcaster says it and beats it to death. Here, I'm going to show you exactly what is and what isn't an RPO. RPO traces way back to the old-school pro-style system when it was actually a built-in, a pre-snap decision. Linebacker on a run play tucks in the box. You got an open receiver. Said, Hunt, flip it out to him. Easy. That's a pre-snap decision. Now, that same linebacker now lines up over the receiver. Even easier. Quarterback walks up. He's got a run play on. Said, Hunt. And he hands it off. We're off to the races. Now, here's where the new school RPO has really taken over. This is a post-snap decision by the quarterback because defenses got smart. They'd put that linebacker splitting the difference between the receiver and the box. So, it's post-snap. Said, Hunt. I read. He escapes to the receiver. That's a run play. Now, here's where it gets really sexy. Here's where you see the video game numbers. When that linebacker decides he's going to add to the box, add to the run at the last second, that's when you can really hit him big. Said, Hunt, linebacker adds to the box. Then there's my receiver for a big-time touchdown. That's the RPO. That's the run-pass option. It's not a new thing, but post-snap, it is a new revolution for college football.
And we go to our next game, which is Ole Miss against Arkansas. Paul, who are you taking in this one?
I mean, literally, you close your eyes and go eeny, meeny, miny, moe. I can't. I am going with
Nice. Let's see what you did there.
Ole Miss.
All right.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going with Arkansas.
Whoa.
I'm taking Arkansas. I like some of the things that
All those
they did
hogs.
last week. I really did. And if you can put, again, even though a lot of people don't think it matters, you put 31 on Bama, you should be able to put at least 45 on Ole Miss.
Listen, I agree with you. Arkansas is getting better. Chad Morris is doing a really good job of designing plays. This is not the same team that got blown out versus North Texas, but I still think Ole Miss is too much with their receiving core. Jordan Ta'amu, they get enough big plays in the second half. I think Arkansas keeps it close, but I think Ole Miss finds a way to win.
It is a rainy Saturday night in the capital city as we welcome you back inside War Memorial Stadium. Razorback football comes to Central Arkansas tonight as the Hawks get set to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. The old border rivalry renewed tonight.
But you grew up playing right here. You grew up in this moment right here, man. Right here. Your whole life you've been watching this game right here. Now it's time to go play, huh? Have fun.
It's time to reap what we've been sowing. You don't commit to play for the University of Arkansas, you commit to play for the entire state of Arkansas. I hope you feel the passion. These people, man, this is what they live for right here. And let's continue to build on the history that's been put in the walls of this stadium, man.
Moore will let it skip through the back of the end zone.
But they don't let that play.
Interesting. And now Phillips for the first time, and he is immediately erased by Randy Ramsey. It's a loss of 3. That's a 3-0 lead.
You got to split safety or they're going to bring pressure.
Ole Miss showing blitz. Story to throw underneath, wide open. That's Boyd out of the backfield. The chunk play for the Razorbacks. That's 45 yards and a first down.
By Ty Storey, you're going to get pressure, and he's going to leak Boyd in the void. See, Ole Miss brings 5 there, drops a guy opposite, and great adjustment by Ty Storey.
The void closed on Boyd that time. Hibbler in, but he fights for a couple more, and it turns into a gain of 4.
Connor Lippert will try a 43-yarder. Good snap, good hold. Kicks on the way. Plenty of distance, and this ball game's tied at 3.
Yesterday, it is short. It's a little older. So you'd imagine the footing will be questionable. Great play there.
Ryan Pulley was all over Braylon Sanders, and it's going to leave it.
Today, it's Ryan Pulley. He's got NFL ability on the outside. 5'11", 198. Maybe even though the ref will give you signals, it really just throws off your mechanics as a quarterback. You're used to walking to the line of scrimmage looking up at that clock and knowing just how much time you have. A great run there by Rakeem Boyd. Surprised to see Story have a glove on. Let's see if he keeps it on and see how successful he is throwing the ball.
Little room on the right side, and busting through is Boyd. Rakeem Boyd is showing what he can do on a gain of 19, fresh off a 100-yard game against Alabama.
Reason in Devwah Whaley's absence, Rakeem Boyd absolutely took the reins of the backfield. He's a one-cut guy. One cut, he's going to get vertical. He's going to get north and south, and that's the best on that last play after a few big plays by Arkansas.
Corner blitz coming. Story steps out of trouble. Sideline shot. Wide open Cheyenne O'Grady.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
We like that! We like that! Good job! Good job! Good job! Nice job! Nice job! Good pickup! Good pickup! Good pickup!
Wesley McGriff, the D coordinator, wanted to be aggressive. They're going to roll the one high, bring the nickel pressure, which means C.J. O'Grady is going to be man-to-man on a defensive end. Ryder Anderson, little double move wheel, gave him the look back. That's a mismatch. That's a matchup that C.J. O'Grady is going to win every single time. Again, the creativity of finding matchups to get your tight ends and running backs in advantageous situations. Now, 2 weeks in a row, we've seen him hit big plays on just that.
Celebrations including the backup quarterback, Cole Kelly.
Hey, that's a great job, man. It's a great job sliding to it right there. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. Hey, great job, man. Way to set in there, man. Let it come open on that thing. Good job. That's the way to pick it up.
Tamu pressured, hit, dropped. Randy Ramsey came free and untouched. It's a loss of 7.
The second time there's miscommunication. You're going to see a tight end and a back come to block him, but neither of them know who it's supposed to be. Offensive line sliding
up a little bit, but now seems to be coming back.
Ole Miss going into the wind about 10, 15 miles an hour into their face. Coming out of the west. This stadium might be small, but it is loud. Tamu on play action. Going deep. Into triple coverage, intercepted, or is it? Yes, indeed. Ryan Pulley with the pick, took it away from A.J. Brown.
There was one guy I said would need to have a big game. It was Ryan Pulley. Pulley and Kevin Richardson there in coverage.
You need to think Tua Tagovailoa is pretty good at this quarterbacking thing.
20 touchdowns.
Boyd's good at this running back thing. Open field, and he is pulling away. 69-yard sprint for Rakeem Boyd.
A great block on the backside here by Johnny Gibson that's going to spring Rakeem Boyd, getting to the second level, coming around the edge, blocking Willie Hibbler, and that was it. Sometimes it only takes one. If you can get an offensive lineman on a linebacker or a secondary player, you know it's going to be a big play. And Boyd had the speed to make him pay.
Boyd was destined for the SEC coming out of Stratford, Texas. He originally attended Texas A&M. After 1 year under the lights for an SEC Saturday night game at War Memorial, it is a rarity. And early on, the Rock is lit. 17-3 Hogs.
Hey, good job. All of y'all. One play at a time. Hey, one play at a time. Go, baby. Go, baby. One play at a time, boys. Hey, one play at a time. That's it. Just play plays. Just play plays, man. One play at a time. Let's go. The quarter, man. The quarter. The quarter. Keep it up, man. Keep it up, Rambo. Keep it up, man. Stay on him, man. Let's go. Stay on him. Stay on him, man. Let's go. Let's go. Stay on him, baby.
Luke says, I don't need a hat. I don't need a hood. I like the rain. I'm an old offensive lineman. And his team has found some rhythm so far. High snap. Story will keep it. Watch the room. Ty Story dances his way towards midfield. It's a 22-yard run.
Play within ourselves, all right? Composure. Throw it outside now. Don't leave it short. Don't leave it short on us. Run it, run it, run it!
Out of the gun on 2nd and 15. Kelly going to throw off play action. Pumps once, going deep at the goal line. Got a man. He caught it. Touchdown, Arkansas. And welcome to the ball game, Cole Kelly. Michael Petway. Petway with an acrobatic reception.
Coach Kelly just said, hey, man, I'm just going to throw this football down there. He did a nice job of delivering the football, and that's what Big Cole can do. I mean, you just never know what he's going to do.
Hey, nice job, big dog. Good job.
Down pass of the season. He took a shot and it pays off to Petway. Starting quarterback out, back up in, and the offense keeps cruising. 24-10 Hogs. Back judge. Tamu broken up on a sensational play by Jarquez McClellan.
That's a route they love, a stop route on the outside.
Tamu lost the football. Phillips able to fall on it. And that'll bring up 4th and long, and the kicking team will come to the field for Ole Miss.
And it looks like a little miscommunication. I feel like Tamu was supposed to hand that off. He sees the linebacker jetting through, decides to keep it.
38-yard attempt for Connor Lippert. And this one will just curl in. Still well behind the pace set by Arkansas. 4-man rush. Again, Tamu wants to run. And found a yard maybe. Drake Greenlaw, one of the top tacklers in the league.
30 minutes of football. 30 minutes of football.
If we score every time like we did in the first half, they can't win. They have not stopped us. We've scored every time we've touched it except when we just took a knee. But we've got to finish the game. You guys done a hell of a job to this point. Don't let them stop us.
It's all about the what? It's all about the what? The finish. It's all about the finish. Finish plays.
The second part is seeing how good Rakeem Boyd's been. Here's Whaley. There's been an extra sense of motivation for Whaley, who moves the pile for a first down. Pressure coming. Whaley runs right past it. Gets a nice block from Cantrell. And he takes it to midfield on a gain of 16.
He's as valuable as there is a player for Arkansas in the run game, as you can see him come from across the line of scrimmage, that split zone.
Linton and Knight. Linton will drop in coverage. Here's Whaley. And he found a seam. Cole, how is Arkansas having so much success up front? It's paid off in a big way for Arkansas. Here's Chase Hayden. He slips through. Hayden to the outside. And a Stampede chasing him, a 17-yard gain.
It really got going this year, just 109 yards on the ground coming into this game. But remember last year talking with Brett Bielema? Early in the season he said, hey, we got some good backs, but watch out for this true freshman, Chase Hayden. He's dynamic.
And that one will hook in. Lippert is a perfect 3 for 3.
This game is not over. Y'all know that. Keep rolling. Mike out. Mike away. This game is forward moving. Hey, one play at a time. Just don't let them run the ball. Make it work. Make it work for everything they
Nickel back over that inside receiver. Doesn't widen out. He got angles for a quick throw and block.
Pressure. He escapes somehow.
Use his legs and get out of that tackle.
Third sack of the night for Arkansas. On 2nd and long, Scotty Phillips. Trey Greenlaw and company there to swallow him up. It looked like the Razorbacks had stopped Jordan Ta'amu and Ole Miss. Cooley had other thoughts. And the 265-pound tight end rumbled in from 66 yards out. Corner blitz coming. It's Whaley. It's a gain of 13. They've committed to playing the spring game here every other year and a conference game every other year. Story pressured. They got a hand on him, but he escapes a Houdini act by Ty Story. And he's safe at second base on the slide with a gain of 13. And support them, or they could be critical and point out all the mistakes. And there were plenty of them. Story with the completion for a first down.
In the red zone. They're a top 20 team in the entire country when it comes to red zone efficiency. They're playing well there tonight.
Great hold by Jack Lindsey. We need Cole to really have an opinion on Auburn at some point. Here's Isaiah Woolard, and he gets taken down.
Just couldn't wrap up Ta'amu.
Ta'amu, the leading rusher for Ole Miss. Batted away, just a little bit behind A.J. Brown. Ta'amu flushed, their leading rusher trying to run for it. He got popped. Dijon Harris put him on his backside after a gain of 6.
I thought for sure Ta'amu would pick up a first down when he got ahead of steam, but that is the reason Dijon Harris is the SEC leader in tackles coming into today.
Loaded. Story stays in bounds and pays the price. Zedrick Woods absolutely crushed him. And what we've seen on the last 2 carries by quarterbacks is quarterbacks fighting hard for the extra yard, refusing to go out of bounds, refusing to slide, and both times they have taken hard hits, and Story can't stay up. Hard but legal hits.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell Ole Miss defender there thinks he's going out of bounds. Zedrick Woods. Story cuts in at the last moment.
And watch his head as he hits the turf.
That's a clean hit, but tell you what, as a quarterback in this league, you learn fast to get down and protect yourself from hits that are unnecessary.
For the second time tonight, the athletic training staff out to take a look at Ty Story. Story immediately threw a 39-yard touchdown pass. Big fella will rumble for a first down. O'Grady in motion. High snap again. Tough to get a high snap on Kelly. He is rumbling in the open field. It's a gain of 9 for guys listed at 6'7", 258. He might be a few cheeseburgers on top of that weight. Complete for a first down on a bullet to Petway. Stands at his 26. Whoa, that one takes an Arkansas hop. It's going to drive all the way inside the 5. A 64-yard punt to flip the field by Bauer.
2 seconds left and 1 timeout. You're going to have to stretch the field. He's probably your best option from an arm talent standpoint. So it's good that he's been in the game.
Here's Warren off of the squib kick. And he gives Arkansas great field position. Then he runs right over an Ole Miss player. 37-33 Ole Miss. Let's get you to the studio with Dari, Chiz, and Dory.
To Little Rock we go as Arkansas was hosting the Rebels of Ole Miss. And the Razorbacks starting to show signs of improvement before this game offensively, up 17-10. The throwback to Ty Story, who is rocked. And frankly, he was rocked all night and kept getting up.
Yeah, he really was. And I'm really impressed with this guy, Dari. He is tough. He's taking hits like that. He pops back up into the game a few plays later, then takes another hit. But he's tough and he's durable.
How about Cole Kelly, though?
Yep.
Yeah, first play. 39-yard touchdown. But Ty Storey's going to be a tough hombre in this league. He already is.
The touchdown gave Arkansas a 2-score lead. Now it's up to a 9. It's a 9-point lead. Story again, rolling right and boom.
Step out of bounds, my man. What are we doing?
Yeah, he's just really opened himself up to some huge hits. He can't come back into the game after this one. That was tough. Yeah. You got to get down.
It reminds me of Austin Allen. Remember the beatings?
He was in the pocket getting beat up like that. These are things that he can slide or get out of bounds and help himself a little bit.
Meanwhile, look at Ole Miss pulled to within 2 after Isaiah Woolard takes that into the end zone. Then Reed Bauer. Watch the punt by Arkansas. Bauer gets a phenomenal bounce. It rolls dead eventually at the 3.
Arkansas's in good shape. They got to go 97 yards in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Ole Miss can score quickly or anything, right? Really, I mean, yeah. Look at the time left on the clock. All they need is a field goal. Tamu. And Knox gets an incredible bit of help and block from DeMarcus Lodge. And then Jordan Tamu again, he keeps it down.
Don't even leave it up to your kicker.
Yeah.
He's already missed twice tonight.
That's right.
Go ahead and take control of it with your offense.
And then Scotty Phillips into the end zone, 97 yards in 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Left too much time on the clock.
That's right. That's more than a yard per second, by the way. They intercepted Cole Kelly a few plays later. And Ole Miss comes from behind to win in Little Rock, 37-33 against the Razorbacks, and a tough loss for Arkansas. And we'll keep you posted on the status of Ty Storey again, who just continued to get rocked